Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on This Land, a horror movie that's got a lot of weird themes in it. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 10 available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. It's a weird setup here. This woman on the right, she was pregnant and lost the baby after a home break-in, and she got attacked on the 4th of July. I don't know why they picked the 4th of July, but it happens then. She loses the baby. Months later, they go on vacation, and they get double booked in this house with another family. And the family is sort of rednecky, and they don't like that. They're sort of not rednecky. So it's a sort of I don't know, two families that have different views on the world, I guess. Very, very basic stuff. The girl is in the gun-toting family, I'll say, and the boy is in the we'll say the guy with glasses family. Anyhow, they discover that in the house there's some ancient Aztec stuff that looks like this looks like a prop. It looks like a prop. Some of the movies I worked on did the same exact thing. But anyhow, so there's some sort of ancient Aztec curse, and there was a reason they lured these people to the house, because they're going to sacrifice them all. And then these two families have to team up to fight shape-changing cultists, I guess. This guy, he could shape change. It's not a mask. And then they fight the cultist, and somebody gets killed. Who's that guy? I don't know who. Oh, wait. That might be... Oh, that's the son. I think that's the son. Is he dead? He dies? Or maybe that's a vision? I don't know. It's called This Land. And they say it in the movie, right here. I think you're going to enjoy this land. So, they said it. They said it in the movie. Written by Colin Watts and Leo Langford. Directed by Richard Greenwood Jr. Let's see. Do I recognize any of the actors? Their names? Natalie Whittle, Adam Birch, John J. Pistone. That Pistone sounds familiar. Mindy Montavon, Gerard Powers, Taylor Scorse, and Garrett Camilleri. I mean, it looks like a fine low budgeter. A lot of weird, though, setup. I mean, it's a weird setup. I like the setup of the two different families, because you don't expect them to work together, and then they do. But the setup with her losing the baby in the beginning of the movie, I'm not sure how that ties in. Seems kind of... And that it's on the 4th of July. Seems like that's just a detail that... So what? Why are you throwing in that detail? It's weird, right? It's a weird detail to throw in. Oh, on the 4th of July she looked. So what? I mean, it's terrible what happened to the character, but the 4th of July doesn't seem to make a difference in the movie, so it's throwing me off. It's like they put effort in it. I mean, you see people lighting fireworks, and she's driving through the neighborhood. It's the 4th of July. Weird, right? I don't know. So I guess it ties into somehow her being attacked and losing the baby. That much seems to be clear. So first act is horrible setup where she loses the baby, and even in a horror movie, it's pretty horrific. It's pretty horrific, kind of depressing. Like, I get it, maybe you want people to, maybe it has to tie in. I think it has to tie in somehow. Losing the baby ties into it. Anyhow, first act, that happens. Then it's like months later, and they decide, well, we're going to go on vacation, try to forget our troubles. And they do. And they book this house, and they get there, and they're double booked with this other family, with the daughter. And they decide, well, we'll stay. Cortez Grove, it looks like. Okay, we'll stay and share the house. It's a big house. Okay, and that's the first act. Second act, The house is weird. They find weird stuff in it. The girl especially does. Apparently, she initiates it. The families kind of bristle against each other because like he's like a strong male role model, and the other guy's kind of beta, and he's saying, "Oh, maybe your son needs a strong male role model." Kind of a weird flex. I don't think it's real dialogue. It seems like you're making that a little too on the nose for the dialogue. I would have backed off that, made it a little more subtle. You know, like something like he fails at something, and then he's always stepping in to like let me do it, right? But then you got this, I don't know, a cult or whatever, a skinless body. I don't know if the kid, is there a love story between him and the girl? I think he's killed. I don't know. I mean, it's a low budget movie, so a lot of people could be killed. I mean, she loses another kid. That's pretty effed up, right? Pretty effed up. She would lose another kid. But I think he does die. I think that's him on the slab in that one still. I don't know. That's pretty dark. But they have the battle of cultists through the second half of the second act, and then they beat him. At least some of them survive. It's a horror movie, so I'm not sure who survives this one. I'm gonna guess she does because she seems to be the main character. So maybe she survives despite putting a knife through the door as they're holding it. That's pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. Yeah, I mean, it looks intense. I don't know. Kind of not that into it because the Aztec stuff really isn't hitting home for me. Not seeing enough. I'm not seeing enough props. I think it's kind of short on the props. I would have liked to have seen them dig up an idol or something, not have a book. The book seems kind of the cheap way to do it. And again, I shouldn't talk because I worked on a movie where that's exactly what we did. But, I mean, I get it. It's low budget, but you guys clearly seem to have a bigger budget than we did. I think it would have been better off if you're doing Aztec with an idol of some sort, Or maybe that's in there. I don't know. Just a cursed idol. Maybe the book is from a guy who went to Mexico and then came back and wrote the book and had visions or something like that. That probably could work. I'm not really throwing shade on the movie. It's just it looks okay. I like the setup between the two families. That's kind of interesting because it gives them this conflict, but then they have to set aside their conflict to work together, and so that gives you sort of grist, right? So like, he might say to the other father, give me the gun, give me the Glock, and he hands him the wrong gun. No, this isn't the Glock. Come on, these cultists are coming. I need the Glock, or I need the other mag, and he doesn't know what he's doing, but then there's a learning curve, and then, they have a grudging respect for each other kind of thing. That could work. It gives some play with the characters. It gives them something to talk about and do, as opposed to just all being on the same side and sort of being the same. At least makes them different. I think it's a little ham-fisted, but it could be done. It could be done in a way that makes sense. I think the scar on the woman's a little much, too. It just looks like I don't know, looks like too big of a scar. Man, it looks like a huge scar. I guess that's what happened to her. I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe I'm being picky. The Slayer. That's kind of gross. As a trailer, it's okay. I don't know. The music's good. The acting seems fine. He seems to be stealing the show. I think the younger people needed to be a little more in the forefront of this, but doesn't seem to focus on them. Seems focused more on her. I don't know. I can't tell. It kind of everywhere on this trailer. But I know it starts on the 4th of July. I mean, again, weird focus. Weird focus. Probably could have used a voiceover to explain more. Maybe? I don't know. Would I see it? I might. I mean, it's a horror movie. I like horror movies. Let's see what the synopsis says. Maybe there's more here. Ava, traumatized mother, agrees to a rustic getaway on the 4th of July with her husband and son in hopes of putting back the pieces of their lives. So I guess it's a year later. It is the 1-year anniversary of a violent home invasion that cost her unborn baby's life. However, after arriving at the cabin rental, they learn they are double booked with a family of very different political beliefs. Tensions boil over the weekend as the family confront grief, race, and divide within the country. They soon realize something else is trying to drive them apart, a band of sinister elites targeting them for an ancient ritual. Okay, now it's sounding like woke horror. Now it sounds like some of the focus is there. Yeah, I don't think you could do woke horror. It sounds to me like you split your time between your politics and the horror. Like, that's, if you're doing a horror movie, that's got to take a back seat. The politics, a big back seat, like way in the trunk, in the corner. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't. That's the kind of nuance you need in a movie like this. The forefront has to be the monster. Why are they being attacked? Not really getting that vibe. They're trying to do a 50-50. I think that's a big mistake. Be interesting to see this movie because of that write-up. I mean, and even people who are woke, are they going to say, ooh, it's going to be woke and a horror movie? Like, why wouldn't you just want more woke stuff? You'd either want to see a movie where they're, I don't know, lecturing us about colonization, or you want to see a horror movie. I don't think you want to see politics in every damn thing. Now it sounds like there's race. There's going to be race in it too. Why? Because she's black. Oh, it has to be about race because she's black. No, it couldn't have just been like not about race at all. That would have been more of a statement about race than anything else. Positive statement. Like, oh, she just happens to be black. Who cares? No, we're going to get a lecture about blackness, I guess, and whiteness, and where this country is going. That was probably Trump's fault. The Aztec monster came back to life. You know what? You're right. I never should have voted for Trump. Ah! Okay. All right. I'll pass. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. I gotta go. I gotta get ready to be at the Berlin Brewing Company tonight at 6 p.m. for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. We'll see you then, and see you in the next one.